What's going on, Pizza Fam? Welcome back to the Pizza King podcast. I'm your host, Tyrell Reed, and you're really going to like today's episode. I'm sitting down with Chef Giovanni Labbate, owner of Tievoli Pizza Bar out in the Chicago area. And this is somebody who's literally lived every side of this business that we're in, right? He grew up in it. His father was opening Sbarros all around the country, through his early childhood. He spent time on the corporate side with like huge brands like Papa John's and Panera Bread. Then he helped scale a concept in Chicago before stepping out and doing his own thing. But what makes his story different is the way that he built it, right? He didn't just open up a shop and hope that it worked out and hope he picked the right location. He started with a food truck. He learned the business. He built that demand up, and then he opened up a restaurant to support it. Now he's running multiple units. He's pushing towards expanding to unit number 2, to brick and mortar number 2. He's got the truck. He's got the trailer. But at the same time, he's competing all around the world at a high level, winning awards, in places like Naples and Parma, obviously Vegas, California, like he's winning all over, right? He's testing new ideas and he's bringing all of that back into the business. We got into all of it during this conversation, the reality of starting with a food truck versus a storefront. We talked about, the things that he learned and took from his days in franchising and what he left behind. We talked about how he's building premium product, right? Without relying on discounts and giving out a bunch of deals. We talked about how he balances his creativity with execution inside the operation, like in real life. So there's a lot in here for operators. If you're in this business or you're looking to get into this business, you're going to learn a ton from this episode. So let's get into it. Chef Giovanni Labbate from Tievoli Pizza Bar.
I think competitions really inspired me to do that because my first competition was in Chicago. And I made a pizza. It was good. I came in like 4th place, which I was like, that kind of pushed me because I was like, wow, first time and I got 4th place. It's not bad. When I started going to these competitions, I started seeing people putting really cool things on pizzas. And I'm like, well, I really got to elevate my game. These people are not just putting pepperoni and sausage and, they're putting like things that you would never see on a pizza before. So then that's when I started kind of developing different things on the pizzas. Okay, no problem.
How did you end up? I see that you grew up in the Bronx. How did you end up in the Chicago area?
So my father was an immigrant. Obviously, he came to, he literally jumped ship from the Navy to New York, and immigration came to get him, and his brother kind of bailed him out and became a citizen. But they started out in New York as in a pizzeria business. Actually, my father used to work for Sbarros. Now today was one of their main guys who would help them open up stores. And then my father went out with his brother, went out on their own and started opening up little businesses, like little slice shops in malls where Sbarros wasn't. So basically kind of migrated. We probably lived in 14, 15 different states. My father would go up into a mall, open up
different malls around and set up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's sweet.
So we ended up in Chicago like in the 90s and we just never left. But he had 14 different places around the country.
That's funny. My mentor and Bobby V, who started me in the pizza business, he started at Sbarros in the mall in Philadelphia. And he spent years trying to find that little steel plate to help mold the crust before you stretch it. Did you remember that? Did you grow up like
the funny
learning
thing
with
is
that?
I'm trying to get a guy because I thought about that and I'm like, I'm trying to get a guy to 3D print it.
But that's a great way to do it because he was trying to find a guy to cast it back in the day. I guess the 3D printer would be so much faster and easier now.
So I'm gonna try to find a guy. I'm developing it right now. Actually, that's funny that you came up with that. And I'm like, I remember that was a pretty good tool, and it will kind of push out the airs just for training purposes.
Yeah, it's a good start for it. And he was never able to you couldn't buy it anywhere.
No,
like only Sbarros had it. I guess if you had an old Sbarros and it was a Villa or some other brand, you found one. But he would we'd see him in the mall and he'd try to buy it from the people at the shop, but they wouldn't get rid of him.
Yeah, that's awesome. My father ended up in Chicago, and then we just kind of stayed here, and then we left Chicago, so I haven't left since.
Nice. Are you in the city? Are you outside the city?
We're in the suburbs right now. I used to live in the city, but now we're in the suburbs. Our pizzeria is in a suburb of Palatine, Illinois, which is like 20 minutes from O'Hare Airport. So
okay,
kind of centralized.
Let's say that's not bad. You get That's better than being in some parts of Chicago.
But yeah, I mean, we have Palatine's nice. It's got like 80,000 people, and then we have all these surrounding cities around us. So we probably got a few 100,000 people around our store. So
Oh, that's great. That's all you need.
yeah, exactly.
That's all you need. You before you started, I read that you spent some time like on the corporate side doing franchising and you know seeing that part of the business. What was that like?
Actually, I actually went to school to become a child psychologist first, and because I didn't want to be in the restaurant business, but that didn't pan out when they told me that I was going to make like $30,000 a year to start, and then I was like, I'm making more now. So kind of got discouraged, and I didn't go back to school. I finished with my associates, and then yeah, I went to the corporate side of the field. I worked for companies like Papa John's, Panera, um, larger corporations that were doing things on a different scale, which was good because it kind of taught me the other side of the business that you probably wouldn't get from your father, like a mom and pop. They didn't really know what food cost was, and they didn't know you know how to do an inventory. So that kind of gave me a little edge. I think later on in life, opening our own business and understanding what it needs to save money and how to do our P&Ls and stuff like that.
Did you ever consider just buying a franchise versus doing your own thing?
I worked for Billy Bricks. I don't know if you know them. They're here in Chicago. I helped
Yeah, I
them
know,
grow
Rick.
to like 12 stores. I started their food truck business, and I was originally gonna buy into the business, but it just didn't pan out. And so I just kind of ventured off my own and said, if I can do it for them, I can do it for myself.
True story. Yeah, I know Rick. He's come on the show too. Good dude, smart guy for sure. So that's a great place to start to see a business kind of really being really close to building something ground up.
Exactly.
The skills and the confidence it gives you. You started with food truck. Was that intentional or was that kind of just where things fell?
Well, because I started with a food truck because I was director of operations for Billy Bricks, and long story short, I started their food truck business, and I liked how it was going. So my wife and I said, "Hey, let's get our own food truck." So we branded it as Billy Bricks at the time, and we were working under their umbrella. And then it was pretty successful. But then when I left Billy Bricks, I rebranded the truck to Tivoli, and we just started there. But yeah, the truck was kind of our, hey, this is working, so let's do something. And so we built a restaurant really for the truck. It was for our commissary, and we said, hey, if we make money, we make money. If we don't, and now the restaurant's probably more successful than the truck.
Are you still running the truck too?
Yeah, we have a truck and we have a trailer and the restaurant, and we're opening up store number two, hopefully within the next 6 months.
If you had to start over and do it again, would you start that same route, like go truck first and then kind of build a commissary or a restaurant around it?
No, I would say a restaurant is first is always better because you kind of have to have a truck and a restaurant. It's a kind of a symbiotic relationship because with having the restaurant and the truck, like for instance, they went out yesterday. They did a little public event and they sold 100 pizzas, but they brought enough for like 150. They can bring that product back, put it on the line, and we have zero waste
Never
because we're
waste any.
always utilizing all the stuff. So if you don't have a restaurant to go back to, and if the restaurant's not very busy, then you're gonna have some waste. So it's a little bit more harder to control not wasting some food or dough. So I would always recommend at least have a restaurant to go back to.
Yeah.
But if
Okay.
you want to start out, the truck is good.
Is it like a misconception that it's cheaper to start in it with a truck anyways?
I think so because then and also when you're doing a truck business, you really have to kind of the variables of what kind of product you're going to put out. Obviously, pizza's, probably one of the pizza and tacos. I mean, it's one of the number
Super
one
common.
truck. Yeah, so those are the good ones. That's what people want. And then we do a lot of weddings, so that's where our bread and butter is. We do a lot of big corporate parties and big weddings. So, and we're just private party based. So we don't really go, we'll do some public events, but it's all prearranged. I don't go on a street and try to sell because that's just a waste of time for me. I'm not sure what we're going to do. So everything we do is 100% prearranged.
Yeah, that's interesting in itself because I think when folks think about food truck, at least when I do, I'm thinking like we're going to go set up in some park where there's 20 other trucks and there's
Exactly.
an event going on and maybe we sell some food or maybe we don't or maybe there's 10 pizza guys or maybe I'm the only one. You kind of chose a different path where it's we're only booking where we know exactly what we're going to do, what we're going to sell.
Yeah. So,
Is
like,
that like, what's that like operationally? Like, you have to have some skills in selling and closing those kind of deals too, right?
exactly. So really got to know the business. You got to know how to market the truck. You have to know where to find those parties. You got to have exposure that people can find you to book you for a party. So, and I think that's where the restaurant really comes into play because now you can promote the truck through the restaurant business. When people are calling for catering, say, hey, we have this option, we have this option. And then, we do some advertising on different websites that are for, weddings and private parties. So that helps. So you really got to know what you're doing it's not as easy as everybody thinks.
Yeah.
And and it's seasonality too here in Chicago, at least because weather related.
Yeah.
So winter time we have nothing. Nothing really goes on too much. So like January, February, kind of slow.
But you spend that time planning, booking, closing deals because everyone's planning for that season.
Yeah,
So they want to lock it down. And then I imagine that you got to understand your cost well enough to price it for profit too, right? 'Cause
correct. Yeah,
I've heard folks, in the food truck game or the pop up game, start to give out, they're pricing themselves out of the profit, and it's making it hard to keep going in the business.
yeah. I mean, yeah, we're not the cheapest avenue, I would say. Some people are like, "Wow, that's expensive." I'm like, "Well, that's what it is if you want pizza made at your doorstep." So, so it's an experience plus having food. So that's how we kind of validate what we do is because we have an all glass truck, people can see it. So it's not, if you want a pizza delivered, sure, that would be cheaper. But if you want me to make pizza with a crew in front of you on our truck in our gold oven, yeah, that's going to cost you a little bit more money.
And it's separating the pizza from the experience. That's a whole series of education in itself for customers because they look at us all like we're Little Caesars.
And that's where Tivoli came into play. When we did Tivoli, we don't offer no discounts. We don't do any couponing. And we hardly do any marketing. It's just basically like podcasts or we go out, we get some news exposure. We do little things here, influencers that we don't pay. But I didn't want to demean what we do as a pizzeria owner because a lot of people think that pizza should be cheap. And a lot of people think that, oh, it should be coupon or it should be discount. And I don't do that. I say, hey, when you go to a fancy restaurant, you're not bringing a coupon with you. Why should we take coupons? So, and I tell people we're price, we're not the cheapest pizzeria, but we're not overly priced. But we put, and I know a lot of pizzerias say that but we put literally the best products possible, and we're always getting better. If we find a better product, we're buying it. I don't care if I have to spend more money for that product. I will charge accordingly for my product to do so, because I want to put out the best product.
What's that process like for you in terms of just finding ways and finding areas to improve? Like, is it a point where it's like, okay, maybe I need to stop tinkering as an owner, or is it, no, I saw something, I learned something, we're going full steam ahead, or do you kind of test things out?
We do a lot of testing. This it's actually why I like competitions, trade shows. We see new products, new ideas, and then but just in general, I'll see something and I'm like, or the rep will call me from and say, hey, I got a couple different pastas, so we'll test them out, or we'll make something like for instance, gluten free. We do a lot of different gluten free products, and we couldn't find a good gluten free pasta because they kind of all suck. And so I said, you know what? We're going to make our own gluten free pasta. We make our own gluten free gnocchi. And that's what we're proud about because
How
you wouldn't
long
even
does
know it's
that
gluten free.
take?
It's actually so simple too. I mean, and I thought about it. I was like, man, it's just a gnocchi pasta. We make it kind of pretty cool because we don't do the traditional gnocchi. We make kind of like a little balls. So they're round balls, and they're so good because you wouldn't even know they were gluten free because mostly it's potato pasta. And I don't have to give somebody a mediocre product. So I'm giving something that we made in house and it's so much better. So that's the kind of things that we do. And we're always looking at our menu, what we can do better. Because, if you think you know everything, then you're done.
You continue to even educate your customers on like things like that, like we do our own gluten-free, gnocchi pasta, without doing like without going the traditional marketing routes, like without spending more than like, oh, we donated $1,000 and then you spend $10,000 telling
Exactly.
everybody about it. How do you continue to put that out there?
So, like a lot of times we'll do is like, we kind of tell people in store. So if we know a customer has gluten free and they're always buying that gluten free pasta, we're like, hey, next time you got to try the pasta because it's out of this world. And we do like gluten free cookies, we do garlic knots. So There's a lot of different products that we do, and we're always telling customers. And we have an email blast that we do from
Okay.
our company. We use Toast, so we do text marketing, and we do emails and social media, obviously. So taking pictures and promoting and stuff like that. But and we feel that that's the best route right now because everybody's on their phone and looking for the next best dish on the internet. So
So staying present, keeping your social, and your social is pretty cool because you make a lot of videos, you post a lot of the things that you're doing, your travels, a lot of press and like local news, things like that.
yeah, we got lucky that we had one of our customers was a PR lady, and she's like, I can get you guys on TV and promote these wins. And I was like, okay, all right, whatever, and so her price was pretty good. And we said, you know what, we'll try it out and see if it works. And, we couldn't be much more happier. She's gotten us on every news station, any outlet we could think of. And, we'll be on May 4th again on the news talking about Mother's Day and stuff like that. So she does a good job and promotes us every time we kind of get an award or and win something. So
Do people come to the restaurant to see you?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's pretty cool too. 'Cause, like you're the face of it, and then I know that you guys got a whole team and business behind it, but you kind of taking on that role of being the face of the brand and stepping out there. So I imagine that's like people are
Yeah.
coming to check you out.
Unfortunately, I make most of the pizzas at the restaurant. I'm trying to stray away from that. And we kind of lost a couple of our guys. So we have to retrain some new ones. And I have a new guy coming, but I'm trying to get myself out of the kitchen, but it's hard to do sometimes, because yeah, customers come in a lot of times just to say, I saw you on TV.
And they want
And,
to talk.
yeah. So, but it's a good feeling too. We want people to know that we care and we're behind the scenes. We're not just absentee owners just trying to make a buck, like we do it because I do it because I love it.
Yeah, hence the name.
Yeah.
How did
That's
the,
why I was.
how did that come about? I wasn't even. It's a perfect way to go into that. How did you get there? That's pretty creative.
So we were at a competition in California, which is a competition that's coming up in the deadline is actually the 24th, the California Reel competition. So we were at their competition, which we won that year. And we had a wine in California and it said by Oak Farm Vineyards and it said Tivoli. And it explained it said it's I love it backwards. Move forward like 6 years later, when we were trying to come up with a name for the restaurant, we couldn't think of anything. Everything we thought about was taken. So my wife was like, what about that name, Tivoli? I'm like, for sure somebody's got it. Nobody had it. So I called my lawyer. I was like, dude, I need this name for the whole United States. So we trademarked the name and, yeah, I mean, it just means everything for us because it sounds Italian, but it's not Italian. And then it
Yeah,
means something backwards. So you couldn't get any better than that. It's really how we feel about pizza.
an original word, but still has meaning.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. And you locked it up. No one else. We're not going to see another Tivoli without litigation in the
Unless, yeah,
United States.
unless
Do you have any goals to franchise?
yeah, I mean, so that's the goal. I mean, either we franchise or we get a huge investor involved and expand the location. So, like I said, we're working on store number 2. Hopefully, within another year from now, we'll do 3, and then we'll start to look at franchising ideas and go from there. So, basically, what I did for bricks.
And you guys are wood fire Neapolitan or neo-Neapolitan style?
So our truck is Neapolitan, and then our stores is I would say like New York artisan. So we use like electric ovens, Pizza Master. So different styles on the truck than our brick and mortars. But the brick and mortar was really about bringing back when my father started, and my father did like New York pizza. So I wanted to kind of bring that back, and I wanted to bring it to Chicago because there's very few New York style. They're actually more popping up now, but there was only a handful of us. So I thought, hey, let's give somebody something different. So I took New York and we kind of elevated a little bit more. That's what we call it, New York artisan. And that gives somebody something different to eat because everybody around us is doing like Chicago style, deep dish, pans. So, and then we do Detroit style as well.
Yeah. Do you do like slices? Are you doing any?
No slices. It just wasn't like, my father used to do slices and I thought to myself, like, I don't want to sell 400 slices to make a little bit of money. Like, I want to just sell the whole pie. If somebody wants a slice, they can just buy a 12. We do a 12-inch pizza, which is a smaller one. So they can just get a 12-inch pizza. If they want a panzerotti, a calzone, they can just get that. Like, I don't want to sell that, because plus I want to give people fresh product. I want them
Yeah.
to get it right out of the oven.
You want your best product to leave there in that box.
Yeah. And slices sometimes is like you got to reheat it, which is good. I mean, I grew up in the slice business, I know, but if it was in a high traffic volume area, maybe, but we don't have that kind of traffic, foot traffic.
But you still have a personal size, a 12-inch offering to get people to try something they haven't really tried before, right?
But yeah, 100%.
Because I've seen some things like you're creative too. You like to create different pies. You're not just
No, I mean, you got to
slinging
get some
cheese and
pies.
pepperonis.
No, yeah, exactly. We have some pies on the menu you're not going to get anywhere else. Definitely combinations that are just, Tivoli kind of thing. So, and that's what really Tivoli is about. It's about just being different than everybody else and coming up with things that you're not going to see at your normal pizzeria or pizza shop.
What inspired that and to be non-traditional with it, but still do something that's deeply rooted in tradition?
I think competitions really inspired me to do that because my first competition was in Chicago and I made a pizza. It was good. I came in like fourth place, which I was like, that kind of pushed me because I was like, wow, first time and I got fourth place. It's not bad.
I can win this
And
thing.
yeah, I said maybe I could do better. So when I started going to these competitions, I started seeing people putting, really cool things on pizzas, and I'm like, well, I really got to elevate my game. Like these people are not just putting pepperoni and sausage, and they're putting like things that you would never see on a pizza before. So then that's when I started kind of developing different things on the pizzas, and we have probably like 5 of our pizzas on that menu that are all award-winning pizzas. So
That's really cool. What's your favorite?
our namesake pizza is the Tivoli pizza. It's a pizza I developed actually like 12 years ago. I was making bacon jam for mac and cheese. And I made that bacon jam for mac and cheese, and I was like, man, this bacon jam would be good on pizza. So I started putting that on pizza, and then it's got a creme de pecorino, it's got a roasted garlic sauce, cheese, cup and jar pepperoni,
Shit.
onions, oregano, truffle honey, and basil, and pepperdew pepper. So it's got a lot of stuff on it, but when you take a bite of it, it just makes sense.
It sounds like
And
it cost $100 to make it.
yeah, it's expensive. So it's probably, and it's our most expensive pizza too. So
Yeah.
it is a good pizza, and we actually won second place in Naples last year in the Americana division with it. So it's a
What an
good
honor.
pizza. Yeah.
That is excuse me. Are there any that you come up with and you love them and it just doesn't work out?
Yeah, sometimes. I did a pizza at a competition. It was like a lemon curd pizza,
Uh,
and I thought it was spot on. It was like prosciutto and stracciatella and lemon curd. It just all made sense, but I didn't win. And
it,
nobody liked it.
it was
I guess
before it
nobody
was
liked it.
before its time.
Yeah. But basically now I just make a pizza and I have my wife try it out and she doesn't like it. We don't do it.
That's the litmus test is does it
Yeah.
pass the wife? And
Yeah,
if not, we just go move on to the next one.
exactly. And she's actually come up with a pizza too. We did a pizza in California. She came one day to the restaurant and she handed me like 12 ingredients. She's like, "Can we make a pizza with all this?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then we took that pizza to California and we won first place in not traditional. And then we won the grand champion. And then we won like a cheese division too. So we won like 3 trophies that year.
Wow. Well, she let her do that all the time. Do you see as you're out, you're shopping, you're rolling around, do you see things and then it automatically starts to form pizza creations in your mind?
Yeah, well, what I do is that when I'm at home, I actually cook a lot more than actually make pizza. So I think about like dishes that I make and I'm like, this could be a good pizza. So when I'm making like I make Thai food a lot at home, I make a lot of Spanish food. So I kind of say we can make dishes when we put these dishes incorporated on pizza. So and that's how I come up with some of the pizzas that we do. So we'll probably come up with a couple new pizzas this year because we're going to Naples in June. So we got to come up with a couple different award-winning pies soon. So
I saw you in Vegas a couple of weeks ago or last month, and you were just getting ready to compete with sandwich. Does the same thought process go into creating a great sandwich as a pizza?
yeah, and this year I actually did kind of something simple. I just did what we did at our shop. I just wanted to see how well our meatball sandwich would do in a competition.
Right.
And we came in the top 5, and then we made it to finals, but we came out 4th place. So, but our meatball sandwich did well against all the people, so I can't complain. Next year probably come up with something different creation, and then maybe put that on the menu if we win. But I just wanted to see like what was something basic, like I mean, and I don't say our meatball's basic, but it wasn't extravagant sandwich. It was just like a meatball sandwich with good vodka sauce, good meatballs, basil, and some cheese and some jardinere. And I just wanted to see how far that would go. And sometimes simplicity goes a lot farther.
I think so. I think sometimes if you do the simple things and you do it right, it can spark something in the judge, and who knows what the judges are thinking or doing behind the curtain or who's there. Well, I mean, we all know who's there, but it's like sometimes that's just the right spark in the room where everything's crazy, right?
Yeah, and it's all subjective. I mean, people compete, they get upset. Trust me, I've lost more than I've won, but you got to kind of just take that and motivate yourself. People are always competing against each other. I'm
Hmm.
competing against myself.
Yes.
You know, I'm always like, how can I do it better? What can I do to make it better? And that's really why I compete is it's not really, I mean, yeah, it's great we win awards. It's great to get exposure, but it's really about just pushing ourselves, pushing the envelope to see what we can do a little bit better than the last time.
What are there any lessons that you take home from competitions, win, lose, or draw? Like one of the things I noticed when just kind of being behind the curtain this past year was how much everyone kind of helped each other out.
Yeah.
Do you go looking forward to just connecting and learning from some of the other, masterpiece of pizza yellows around you?
I mean, 100%. I always looking around, see what the new guys are doing, seeing if they're doing something different. I mean, that's kind of really how we brought Detroit pizza to our restaurant because I saw everybody competing with Detroit's, and I was like, man, this is a good pizza, and kind of taught myself. Reached out to a couple guys and said, you see what they were doing, how they were making it, and we R&D'd it for about a year, and then finally we said, okay, we got it right, and then we launched it, and that's really came from competitions, just seeing what everybody else is doing.
That's a major win if it makes it to the menu and you can actually make some money from it too, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think it's important to go to competitions and have an open mind and see what people are doing and learn and don't be one-sided. You got to see what everybody else is doing, kind of take little bits in here and there and see if you can incorporate any to your restaurant. And I think that's going to help you.
Oh, I love that. So you're going to Naples this summer. We just saw you in Vegas. Are you going to be California this year too, in Florida?
I hope so. I applied to be in California for the Real California competition. So I made it there, but 2 times out of 5 years. So hopefully I'll get another third.
Fingers
You know,
crossed.
yeah,
Get there and win some trophies.
yeah.
Um,
I
and
got
then you
there. I
get
got there twice, and I won 2 times. So
yeah. Well, then you
yeah,
got a little bit closer to home. You got Expo in Columbus coming up. Do you try to hit as many as you can, or there's ones that you
yeah.
reserve your time especially for?
I didn't go to Parma this year because it was so close to Vegas. We went to Parma last year because we won the California PMQ magazine. So yeah, we had a free paid trip, so that's why we went, and we did pretty well. I mean, we ranked pretty high, not as good as we wanted to, but we did well. But we chose this year Naples because last year when we went to Naples, we obviously won second place in Americana, but we did other categories and we placed like 10, 11. So I was like, wow, we're pretty close. We could probably with a little bit more ingenuity and practice, we probably could, get in the podium. So that's the goal this year is to not only do Americana division, but I'm doing like pizza frita, Neapolitan STG. So I'm doing it all.
You're
I'm
challenging
gonna,
yourself, right?
yeah, yeah. We want to push the envelope, and we want to, I'd like to win like a Neapolitan. We've done Neapolitan in the past. We've come like with third place, but I'd like to win Neapolitan in Italy would be like the highlight because then we could say like we're the best Neapolitan pizza truck out there.
Yeah, like number one means something.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's sweet.
Especially when to win in Naples, that'd be huge.
Hell yeah. That'd be great. What have you inspired anybody like, back home or back on the team to start to compete based on just what you've been doing out there?
I don't know. Maybe I hope so. I hope there's young pizza makers out there that were watching me or watching some of the teammates, and I know a lot of people on my team that I inspired them as well to do more. And I know a lot of the guys call me and ask for some advice. So yeah, I mean, like you said, there's definitely a camaraderie when it comes to competing, even with different teams, and we're always there to help each other and you know, whatever they need. We want everybody to put their best pizza out because I don't want to beat you at your worst. I want to beat you at your best.
Yeah, but you still want to beat them though. So, I mean, the artistry aside, you're also there to run a business, right? And you came from a strong business background with your time with, different franchises and other brands that you've helped to grow. What are some of those, if you're telling somebody hey, look, you're gonna open a Tivoli franchise. This is what you need to focus on. This is what our core business looks like. Like, what lessons are you making sure you teach someone that comes in and they need to not only make a great product, but they also need to make a living using your name? How do you what are you teaching them? What are you telling them?
Well, I mean, basically the same thing we teach our staff. It's, follow the systems. We have systems in place. We have recipes. It's consistency, putting out a good product each and every time. And not only just the food, I mean, service too.
Yeah.
You got to give good service. You got to be, the first impression is the people at the counter. So cleanliness of your restaurant.
Hmm.
I'm a neat freak. So and organization. So I'm all around. If you come in my kitchen, it looks like a hospital. So
I like
I
that.
want it to be clean.
That takes work too, but it makes such a difference when it's time to execute.
Well, I tell everybody, hey, customers eat here and we eat here too. So make sure it's clean. Cleaning your restaurant also helps with maintenance, with your equipment. So you want to take care of it because those things break down that cost you money. So there's more than just making a great pie to running a business. It's having a good team. Obviously, you need a lot of good employees to help you to do that, and good service, and just use good products. But that's the thing, is like some people try to cheapen on their product and think, oh, we could save 20 cents if we use this cheese. Use a cheese that you love and just charge for it. If you got to charge for something, you got to charge for it. Don't worry about being cheap.
You don't have to be the provider for every person.
Everybody's not going to like you, we would hope that, but everybody's not going to like what you do. And, everybody's not going to like your pricing. But I tell everybody, like, I got the great customers because I don't have the customers that are looking for $5 off or $10 off. I have the customers that are coming in and they know that we got good pizza. And that's why they're coming to us. And you can see on our Google reviews too. Sometimes they'll say like they got the best pizza in time. A little pricey, but it's the best.
But it's
I'm
good.
okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean that's who we are, right?
Yeah. If that's the worst review we're gonna get, is that we're pricey, but we have the best pizza, so be it.
Take it. Well, what it does, if someone reads that, is it tells them, look, maybe this isn't the place for me, and
Yeah.
that's okay too, right? Like,
Yeah.
there is a product for you out there if you're not in that price range. But if you want something, if you want to spend a little bit more and get a killer product, this is a good option for you, as reported on Google and all these other places.
100%. Yeah, you gotta be you, and that's it. That's the key. Just do what you gotta do, and, obviously, we listen to customers, don't get me wrong, like, if I get a bad review or we get comments, we'll try to accommodate as much as we can, like, we in the beginning, we had some comments that they're charging $2 for a bottle of water. So I was like, "Okay, maybe people don't see the value in this plastic bottle of water." So now we have Saratoga glass bottle. But now I charge $4.
Let's say it ain't $2 no more.
No, now it's $4. You know, you know, you. So it is what it is. But we'll elevate our game, and but we're going to charge accordingly.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I mean, it's just the way that it's got to be. And honestly, you go to these places and there's nothing's cheap anymore. Nothing is. I mean, you can get cheap things, but you're gonna get a cheap thing.
Exactly.
So you need to value it. And I think as a team, just working in stores, when an owner values their product and values their business, and it makes you do your job just a little bit better, where you put a little bit more pride into what you do when you know that, we're doing this to be the best.
Yeah, and I think I think it's nice that's what social media can do is giving the knowledge to your customers, understanding why you charge a certain price because hey, the dough we make takes 72 hours before we actually stretch it. And, we make it by hand, we roll it by hand, then stretch it by hand. I mean, that's a long process for a piece of dough.
Yeah.
And then when you ask why do we charge a certain price? Well, that's why.
I love that. I used to tell the story, with the team or the managers on my team, just about growing asparagus. And I have a garden. I love my garden, right? And I'm like, think about asparagus. From a seed, it takes 2 years to get a stalk of asparagus. And every day you got to prune it and water it and do all this, and you can't even touch it. For the first year, you don't even know if you did it right because, right, it wasn't even sprout for a year. And then a year after that, you prune it every day, you take care of it. And then after that second year, it becomes a productive plant for 20 plus years. So like you put the time in and you put the effort and you put that on there, and we look at it like a side dish. Like it's just like garnish to the steak, but it takes time, it takes effort, it takes
More time than that
sacrifice,
steak.
more time than the steak. Steak is very seasonal on a 1 year schedule, 2 year schedule. But like and it's like we got to start thinking about our business, and we think about our team, and we think about our growth like that. Like we're putting in the time, and we're putting in the effort, and we're planting the seeds and taking care of it so that we can have the production and the growth for years and years and years to come
100%.
afterwards. It's not an easy thing to do, but that's like the way that I love to teach it. Um, so I just love anybody who's passionate about what they do, and they say, look, we're going to be the best, and we're not going to cut any corners.
Yeah, and that's 100%. That's how we feel about ourselves, and we're always trying to do better. So that's we're always looking to learn, to be knowledgeable what we do. I mean, I've been doing this for over 40 years. I've been making pizza since I was about 10 years old, and I don't feel that I know everything. So I'm still continuing to learn and see what new products out there, and teach myself new different techniques for pizza, and always kind of trying to elevate our pizza and never staying stagnant on what we do.
Yeah. I like that. You do a lot of videos and good stuff on social media too. Are you making all the videos?
I do it all.
You do all of them?
I do it all.
You
Yeah,
like I'm like, he's
oh,
got the edit in, he's doing it like
yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do more social media stuff. I think we're gonna do the first couple years it was kind of hard for us, we're trying to maintain the business and social media, we post and stuff but now we're gonna start doing some more videos and some fun stuff. My son graduated for sound engineering, so he's gonna start helping out doing some photo shooting so that take some of the load off my hands, and so that we can do a little bit more content and keep things. We're just kind of playing around with things, and we kind of posted a couple funny videos, and those got quite a lot, a lot of likes, and so we're like, obviously people are looking, they want to watch. So, and I see other pizzeria owners doing some funny skits, so it's working for them. So we want to be known not only just for our pizza, but we want to be known for just some funny stuff. But we always highlighting our pizza on our reels and our social media, because that's what it's about. It's not really about me. I mean, yeah, I go on and do competitions, but I really want people to know us for our food, our pizza. That's what's really what it's all about.
I tried. I got about 1 or 2 good years of my kids really participating in the content. And then my oldest, he became a teenager, and he's just like he don't got no time for
Yeah,
me
exactly.
or my videos or any of that. So I'm just kind of stuck now. But I got them to do a few skits when they were younger, but we got to figure out a way to get back to that.
When they get 20s, they'll come back again.
Yeah, it's like if one of them takes off, they're like, "Hold on, did we get any money?"
You're living for free, yeah.
No, we did not get any money, but I did bring you a pizza.
Yeah,
Crazy kids.
funny.
Chef, what is what has been the best thing or greatest lesson? You got 40 years in this game, 40 plus years in the pizza game. You've seen, you know, the era of door hangers. I was just talking to someone the other day. We used to go put
Yeah,
door hangers on
yeah.
people's doors to get business to come in, and then we started doing direct mail once online ordering started to come out, and now everything's social media. How have you been able to, you know, understand the shifts, make those changes and adapt, and still use those tools to drive traffic to the restaurant?
I mean, we got lucky with the Tievoli. I mean, the funny thing is, we opened up on 3 years ago on Valentine's Day, and I told my wife, I was like, "We're not going to advertise. We're just going to open the doors and quiet, because nobody knew nothing except for me." And I was like, I need to train everybody, but we had to open the doors because we spent so much money, and we're like, we got to start making some money. We opened the doors on Valentine's Day, and we were slammed. And I was like, "Who knows we were open?" Oh, it was like so we got lucky that the business kind of just flowed in, and every year over year it's been getting better, but we still do kind of like that old school marketing sometimes. So like we'll hit some companies and we'll give them a folder with a menu and get a business card, email them back. So, sometimes the old stuff still works. Even door hangers, it did work. I don't know if I don't do it today, but it wasn't a bad idea.
It did work. Like
Yeah, it
we
did
knew
work.
we did. It was just slow. You hit that street, we're gonna get calls from that street today.
Exactly.
We knew exactly where our deliveries are
It was
going
a
today.
science. You had to hit certain streets, so all your drivers went to one area. So
Oh yeah, we
you
did.
didn't go all over the place. You kind of hit sections.
Yeah, we did
So
parking
yeah,
lots.
I
We did
yeah,
streets.
yeah, I done it all, and we kind of today we're lucky that we don't have to do all those kind of like guerrilla marketing kind of stuff that, social media kind of helps out. But I think, yeah, I mean, you could still bring some of that stuff back into your restaurant and maybe elevate that a little bit more. But like what we do, like I said, going to offices, trying to get catering orders. We're more focused on building our catering sales right now. Our in-store sales are fine. Some people are like, when's Dave Portnoy coming? I'm like, man, I don't even know if I want him to come. I'm like,
It
it's
could be
already too crazy.
yeah, it's like the gift and the curse with
Yeah. It's
Portnoy.
like I want the review, but I don't know if I want the business because like Friday night we got I mean, we're at a limit. Like you can only sell so many pies in a day. And like this Friday we did like 400 pies, and I'm like, man, I don't know if he came and we did like 600, that'd be crazy.
Well, it's hard to put out your best product when
Yeah.
you know
Especially when we're
you
doing
got
bulk
dough takes.
ferments.
Yeah, dough
Yeah.
takes 72. Like you can only do so much. There's only so much space, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, that's what my wife's like. She's like, if Dave Portnoy comes, we're just doing cheese pizzas. That's it. 1 week, we're just gonna do cheese pizzas.
Listen, that's not that's not us uninviting Dave. Dave,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But if you could let us know before you get there, and we'll prepare.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll be like, don't post a video before Friday, please.
Yeah. Just give me a little bit of time. What's the score?
Because
Okay, now let me get ready.
Well, because we had this like local reviewer called Super Good came, and and I followed him, so I didn't really know how well his review would do, and he came in and gave us a great review, gives like 8.5 on his. But I mean, if you look at our social media, he stood that pizza up. There was no flop on our pizza, and man, when I tell you that Friday was like nuts, and we were nuts for like a week straight after that. It was like everybody was flocking to us, and and everybody's ordering the same pizza that he got, like a half cheese, half pepperoni, which was great because it was easy. But we got so busy, and I was like, that was like when my eyes opened. I'm like, man, do I really want Dave Portnoy to come here? I'm like, this guy only has like 80,000 followers, and we got
Yeah.
killed. So it was funny.
It's tough. I see a lot of operators, these days chasing that Portnoy review, and that, if that's part of the business model, I think more power to you. That's a tough way to go.
That's a tough way to run your business. Yeah, you
You know
you
what I
better be
mean?
successful before Dave comes. I think, unless you're a newer business and you're kind of growing, but yeah, I want him to come, obviously, because just want that validation,
Yeah,
even though, but yeah, I mean, we don't need him to come.
yeah. Well, Dave, you can come. It'd be great if you did. Just don't. Just make sure you give a good score.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he better be a star. No,
This
I think he'll love our pizza.
I watch him. Obviously, we see all the Portnoy stuff, and we see his reviews, and obviously, he loves the New Haven style and different styles. I wonder if there are folks who are, trying maybe adapting a little bit just to make sure that they do it the right way instead of just putting their own product.
Well, I think so. I think a lot of people are adapted to that whole style of, you know, no flop and, how do we get it there? But sometimes people don't understand the sacrifice to get there. They think it's just cooking your pizza longer, but it's a lot of different variables to get a pizza that doesn't flop. It comes from your dough, it comes from how you're fermenting, it comes to how you're stretching it 100%, because if you're not stretching it properly, you're still going to get a flop in the
You're
middle.
gonna get a thin spot, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's probably the most important part of it is how you're stretching it out. So you're not getting those thin spots. So you're not getting some
Yeah.
weak structure under your pizza.
How
And
you
then obviously
sauce,
cooking it
where you
properly. Yeah.
sauce, yeah.
Yeah. And not to putting too much sauce, because sauce has liquid. So like our pizza sauce, we don't put any water in it. So we try not to put more water into the products as much as we have, because our dough already has a lot of water. We're at like 65%. So, it's quite
It's
a bit
high
for a
for
New
New
York
York.
style.
Yeah, that's
For
high
New
for New
York style,
York. Yeah.
our for our Sicilians and our Detroits, they're 70-75%. So more water into those ones because you get a little bit more spring out of it, get a little bit more structure. But yeah, but it's a lot of time, a lot of time and effort to go into a pizza, and it's a lot more than just people saying, hey, I want to get a pizza like this. Like it's a lot to learn.
Yeah. 65 on a New York is a lot. Is it tough to teach somebody to stretch? Like, are you doing 16, 18s,
So we do 16s, yeah, and that's
16s?
probably the hardest part to stretch for some of the guys. But I thought the way we do 65, because we bulk ferment it and then we're rolling it kind of brings it in a little bit, so it's a little bit more manageable. But yeah, that's the hardest part. And I thought 65 was a good spot because we were originally doing like 70 when we first started. And I was like, well, I can make a pizza with 70, but these guys are not gonna be able to do it. So then I was like, let's cut it back to 65. And 65 was like the sweet spot for me because it was still manageable for them to do it.
I was just like, that was my first thought. Like, Damn, I probably can't even stretch that past 14.
Yeah, it's hard. 12s are good. We always teach them with the 12s first, and then we're okay, go to 16s. And we're doing like we're launching off peels. And the problem with Chicago is that everybody does like Chicago style. So everybody puts things on screens or they don't really launch them. It's thin. It's easy to get off your board. When you start to get guys coming like, yeah, I'm experienced. I'm like, yeah, let me see you make a pizza. And they're like, no, you're not experienced in this.
I never made a pizza like this before. That's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's tough. I've been training a lot of guys over the last couple of years. And fortunately, we lost our best pizza maker. He had to go back to Mexico. And I'm like, what do I got to do to get you back here? But we got a couple good guys, and our truck. Good thing is our truck is taking care of it. That's much easier to make pizza, even though it's Neapolitan. It's 10-inch. Anybody can do that.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah, I tried that too. Yeah. We run about 58% hydration on our New York style. We go 18-inch, but I learned real quickly as I was kind of growing and talking to more folks and doing a little bit. I'm like, I'm really good at running our business. I don't know anything about anybody else's business. And I don't tell anybody how to make pizza because it's all based on where you are and what you know and what you're working with.
Exactly. And you gotta do what works for you. And every pizzeria is differently and all the demographics, but you gotta, and that's what I always tell people. Don't copy what I do. You gotta do what's gonna work for you in your pizza shop.
Yeah. Because it's different. Your humidity is different. Like I'm in Florida, it's hot. We gotta do things differently. So that makes a whole lot of sense. It's been good knowing you. Where can folks find you? Where can they follow along and get to know you and maybe pick your brain on some catering and food.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram or that's usually where we do most of our stuff, and on Facebook at Tievoli Pizza Bar, or go to our website at TievoliPizzaBar.com. And stay tuned because you'll see some stuff about our second location. It's going to be a nice location.
Man, congratulations. What's the timeline on number 2?
It depends on city. We're close. We bought a piece of property. So it was a pizzeria in the past. So hopefully if with permitting goes, I would say 6 months to a year to get everything done. Thank you.
Well, looking forward to that. Obviously if we make it up to Chicago, I've been trying to get up to the NRA show as soon as someone will pay for me to come.
Yeah, I know. That'd be nice, right?
Yeah, try to get up to the show and I'll make my rounds and come out and check you out. But I love watching what you do. It's good seeing you out on competition. I'm like, I gotta go find Giovanni because I know we're doing a podcast soon. I just want to go just put a face with a name and
it's nice
shake your hand and meet folks in person, man. I love that. So appreciate you for being open to this and coming on and talking to us.
Oh, I appreciate that.
And tell your wife's name because I know she's right. What's her name?
Adriana.
Hey, Adriana. Thanks for letting them spend a little bit of time with us this morning.
No worries.
Well, look, you guys, are you open on Mondays?
Close. I said, worst case scenario, I have to work every day. At least I have Mondays off.
Dude, same thought. I'm like, what could I work if it had to only be me working this restaurant? What could I pull off? I'm like, we could do like 11 to 8 Tuesday through Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we do nine on the weekends, but yeah.
And Mondays notoriously suck at sales anyway, so why even bother?
Yeah, it took me when I bought this store in January. I'm like, what is it going to cost us? What's it going to take to get closed on Monday? I'm like, at the rate these Mondays are going, all I need is 4 orders a day on the other 6 days, and we can close on Monday. I'm exactly. Like, I'll get that on the email list. So
yeah, exactly. Sometimes you need your sanity. You need a day off. It's not worth chasing a little bit of sales on a Monday.
No, it's a good reset. It's a good prep day. It's still go to a restaurant almost every Monday. I like to clean the floors on Mondays. Yep. No one's in there, and I had to pick up a bunch of coke this morning. So there it is. That's just life. I did work on a Monday. We were closed, but I worked.
Yeah, but you're not rushed. You got a peace of mind.
Yeah. I can appreciate it. But hey, this was good. I appreciate you. If you've gotten any value out of this episode or any of our other episodes, I need you to do me a favor. Go leave us a review. Every review on Apple, every 5-star rating on Spotify helps this show find more operators just like you and helps them get that same value that you're taking away from this episode. And as a thank you, anytime somebody leaves a review, sends me a screenshot, just DM me a screenshot of your review, I'm going to send you a free gift, something awesome, something cool. I'll send you a gift, whoever leaves a review. That's the challenge. Go leave a review, DM me a screenshot of it, and then I'll get you something. I got you something special from your boy. Now let's get back into the episode. Peace.